Oh, don't do that.
Auckland, New Zealand. March the 26th, 1994. One Tree Hill. And here we are with our dear friends, the Hopkins, ready to take a tour of Auckland. We arrived early this morning and we're on our way. This is One Tree Hill Park, correct?
That's right.
This is a bit of a barren time, isn't it? I mean, it's a drier season.
Oh, we've had no rain since before Christmas.
Oh my.
I'll run down Archery Road, just get a look at it. We have not given up that idea.
Yes, well next year, this year we're going over, but we're stopping off at Atlanta on the way. Yes, I've never seen them all.
I haven't seen them here before.
Oh, we have many pigeons in America. They look just about like ours.
You know, I'm just circling around the...
So none of these trees are New Zealand trees, you said?
None of these are New Zealand trees right here, no.
They're tall. So they've been...
There's a nice little grove of our particular...
That's Manukau?
Manukau Harbour.
Manukau Harbour out there.
That's the one we look over.
These hills are stepped. Yes. Why are they stepped?
Well, that's a good question. I was hoping you'd ask that question. See up there?
Yes.
As you go up, see the steps?
There's One Tree Hill. Oh, yes.
Well, when we're at the museum, you'll see more why they are stepped. All those steps were right at the very top.
I see.
All the Indians had to defend the hill against any attackers. Reach the defence into that area, they'd then go up one more. And so they'd work their way on up the hill.
So we're looking over the... We're looking at Auckland here from One Tree Hill. All right, Dorothy, where are we here now? We're on One Tree Hill?
Yes, the top of One Tree Hill, which is an extinct volcano, and we're looking over the Waitemata Harbour. And over there to the right is the very famous Rangitoto Island.
Is that the one with the volcano, the
Yeah.
extinct volcano? Way over there.
It's not extinct. It could go up.
Oh, does it ever bubble and smoke?
No, but it isn't extinct yet.
Uh-huh. All right, go ahead.
That's about it.
And then down below us, this is,
Yeah, we're looking over to the main city.
all right, and what harbor is that out there?
It's the Waitemata Harbour.
Uh-huh. And we're looking over the main city center there, the business center?
Yes.
And are we looking west now, or
You might ask me that.
You, out here,
where is the volcano?
you are
over there?
looking more or less north here.
I see.
This is the main entrance way for shipping coming into Auckland. You're looking at a volcano ahead of us, an island, and that volcano is said to have erupted only about 600 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And this one is about to go up any moment.
The one we're standing
Yes,
on? Uh-huh.
yes.
Well, it's my understanding that Auckland is spread out all around.
It is. It's a very, very, very spread out city. It extends from almost as far as you can see to the south.
This is the way we're looking
That's
now.
right.
And what bay is that out there? What harbor?
That's the Manukau Harbour again.
Manukau. That's where you
Right.
live.
Yes. That's where the airport is, down that direction.
Now, where would you live? Point the direction you would live. Where is it?
We live over here.
Oh, I see. All right. It's a very large harbor.
Oh, it is. It's very large.
That's industry in that
This
area.
is industry, and yeah, it's quite a very big industry area.
What kind of industry would be there, Rod?
Oh, it's mostly light industry. There's nothing.
Is it semiconductors or would it be?
Manufacturing. In our steel, which is about, I suppose, the biggest industry in the locality, is right over the other side of that Manukau harbour. Mountain steps and so on. As we're coming from the airport, that's it.
That's
And you can
the
see
one,
the
yes.
flat land beyond it. Well, that's more or less where the airport is.
Oh, yes.
So you can see that, in a sense, the airport is fairly central. It's for all that area part of Auckland way down there.
So we're looking over Manukau Harbor here, and we're looking kind of to the east, is it now, or?
Yes.
I think it's to the east.
Yes.
And the airport would be right out there. And you say there are about 42 of these extinct volcano mounds, and One Tree Hill is one of them, correct?
That's right. Out there, where that little estuary goes in.
Where's that?
See at the top there, and it goes in a little bit.
Okay, yes.
We're somewhere in there.
So that's Blockhouse Bay, right down in that area there. Well, you don't know how many times I've looked at a map and I've looked there. There is Blockhouse Bay right there. Sure enough. So this city is built around the two bays with a narrow isthmus there, and then Manukau's on that side and the other bay is over on that side, spread all over the place.
And somebody
This is the original volcanic crater down underneath us here.
Somebody's written there, Jesus, and I can't see what else.
I see. I don't think they quite finished.
No, it looks like they're quite finished.
Huh. They used volcanic rock, I suppose, or whatever kind. Interesting. And here's Rod, who's touring us around today.
And that's the next, another very popular lookout spot where most of the tourist buses take people when they visit Auckland.
And that's called what again?
Mount Eden.
Eden?
Yes.
Like the garden. And here is our great obelisk. Which goes some, 90 feet up into the air.
Left it as one at the moment. When I give up entirely, I don't know. It might, we might run into trouble and need to, but at the moment we'll just have to run.
Yeah, we're managing with just one right
Yeah.
now, too.
And as it happens, the obelisk was erected.
We are told that this obelisk was erected by one Sir John Logan Campbell, who owned all the land upon which Auckland is now built and gave it to the city of Auckland for a city to be built here.
Not quite, no, just this area of the park.
Just the area of the park he
Is what
gave.
he gave,
He owned this area.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was very thoughtful of him. This man lived until he was, what, 95? 95 years of age. Oh, yes, and he's buried here. I can feel it coming. And here on the obelisk is an inscription in the Maori language. There they are, those elusive folks. There's our one tree on One Tree Hill.
Those plants were. And then to the right of that there's another flax bush.
Okay.
And growing right adjacent to that, immediately on the right, are two trees with spiny looking leaves. Those are cabbage trees.
Huh.
Right. And then coming round to the left of the first flax bush, you can see immediately to the left, but behind it about 50 yards, another cabbage tree, and then behind that cabbage tree there is a group of palm trees. Now those are New Zealand's only native palm.
Ooh.
They're called Nikau palm. Those are horrible specimens of it, but still.
You have what you have, right?
Right. Now these trees here,
This is the Rimu tree. It's a kind of evergreen tree which is fairly rare today. It was much used in the past for furniture and articles like that.
grayish looking bark. See these trees with a grey, smooth grey
Yes.
bark?
Mhm.
Those are the Australian gum tree. They come from Australia. They're eucalyptus, a type of eucalypt. They're the things those are the trees that the koala bears love.
And they're very tall.
Oh yes, they are. They grow well here. And you'll walk down to the grove beyond.
What a huge tree. Oh.
We have a grove. What you're looking at now is a grove of kauri tree. These trees here would only be, at a guess, something like 80 to 100 year old. The tree will in fact grow to more like 1,500, 2,000 years old. And so those are babies, and they're babies in terms of size too, because a really large kauri tree would take something like
Go ahead.
would take something like 20 or 30 men with their arms outstretched to go round. They're very big and have a tremendous density of volume of timber. That size tree was prized by the early sailing ships that came to New Zealand. The branches are easily cut off, and it makes it made beautiful spars for the ships.
Mhm.
And the kauri timber is prized because it's extremely durable. It's very smooth grained. It has a very fine grain. No knots to speak of. There are no knots such as you get in pines generally. And it polishes up to a beautiful finish so that it's excellent for furniture making, or for all sorts of things. Many early houses were built almost entirely of kauri.
Amazing. We're now in the what is this museum called?
This museum, it's called the Auckland War Memorial Museum.
It's loaded with Maori and Polynesian art. That is from New Guinea.
이 나무 껍질은 연장인가 봐. 연장 이걸로 깎았던 건가 보다.
돌로.
Rod, did you say this is the explanation for the ridges that are
Right.
out on
That's correct. That's
One
correct.
Tree Hill and the others? Can you explain that to me?
Well, in they call this a pa, a fortified area, and in the early days before the Europeans came, the Maori tribes would battle each other, and a tribe would have an area defended that they could retreat to, and usually they'd choose a hill if they could. At the top of the hill, right at the very top, would be the chief and the most important people. And then on the way down, they would dig out these level spaces and fortify them with stakes, palisades, as you see there. And then if an enemy attacked, they would defend each level in turn and gradually make their way up to the top. And this little model shows you just 3 levels, but as you could see in One Tree Hill, there are many levels that they have.
Now this is the Maoris that are. The carving of the Maoris was quite amazing. This is probably a later example of the kind of quality of carving. In this, they probably used metal tools, though before that, they had no metal tools in earlier days. One of the remaining war canoes is housed here. It is in a magnificent piece of work carved out of one single tree trunk, able to carry 100 warriors and used out in the open waters when there were wars between tribes. Magnificently decorated. I just came down off the steps there, not realizing there were steps. At the rear of this war canoe is this carving. It is 100 feet long. We're told that the tongues are sticking out in order to make these idols look more ferocious.
We're still there.
Uh-huh.
And he painted many of them, as they were, particularly Maori chiefs, tribal chiefs. The feathers that they wear here are the tail feather of a now extinct bird called the huia.
Which are those?
These feathers with the white tip,
Oh, the feather. Oh, okay.
they were the tail feathers of the bird called the huia, now extinct. Highly prized, and a Maori that could wear those had to be a very high rank. But you can see here clearly the kind of tattooing they had on their faces. That we used to talk to every now and again in her garden, and she had that tattoo.
Only on the chin.
On the chin and the lips.
On the lips, too. This is a Maori storehouse used for storing grains and other things to keep it away from the ground and the rodents. Very intricate carving on the outside. These are originals.
All of these brought from some original Maori settlement.
Came from original Maori settlements. This is an original meeting house for the Maori people. It's a place where all the people would gather for various ceremonies and activities. Lavishly decorated with totems. And gargoyle-type figures. There are two Maori ladies sitting there, chatting about their history, and their children, I'm sure. And all of these figures around the outside would remind their chiefs and their teachers what their history was and how important that history was to them. This does not appear to be a highly sexually oriented ancient religion, but here we have two lovers apparently caressing, with the male who has his face full of tattoos and the female who is tattooed only around the lips and on the chin and on the forehead a bit.
It's quite surprising in a way that it's not depicted to...
Some. Now you go into the Hindu culture. You go into the Hindu culture and it's an incredible preoccupation. It's almost foundational to their religion.
You would expect a kind of a natural representation as it is.
Yes, you really would, but
There's no reason why they shouldn't.
not here.
No.
By and large, they do not. That's an interesting guy there. A more careful examination of this particular figure reveals that he's holding his two children and that he's virtually sitting on his wife. We're not sure whether it's to protect her or to keep her in submission. There she is right there at the bottom. This is an ancestral gateway, which is often was placed in front of a hut or in front of a village, I suppose, representing the male ancestor of that particular house or tribe. And it's stone carved, providing a great deal of detail and very imposing, with tattoos on the face as before. We are in Orewa, O-R-E-W-A, a small town just about 30 miles north of Auckland, and it's 10 o'clock in the evening and there's a full moon which is shining down over the Pacific, and it's a beautiful night. The Hopkins own a beach house here that's just 3 doors from a beautiful Pacific beach. And we'll be worshiping tomorrow morning at the church here, and then we'll be fellowshipping with them throughout the day. Yes, I'll get that in there. That's right. Uh-oh. That probably isn't very clear. I had it on manual. What we're watching here is a man with two kites and a little go-kart, and the kites are propelling him down the beach. This beach is just a 1-minute walk from Rod and Dorothy's house. And there's Rod and Dorothy, along with Joan. And there are beautiful beachfront properties here. There's a little batch there. They call these houses that have never been developed batches, right there. Batch, B-A-T-C-H. But lovely places. What a marvelous beach this is, out over the Pacific. Tonight we'll watch the moon come up, the full moon over the Pacific. This is one of hundreds of beaches like this all over New Zealand. And of course the windsurfers are having quite a time out there today. It is not a day for novices, is what Rod said. Quite a wind blowing here from the ocean. Oh! What is today anyway? It's the 28th of February, 1994. And this is a gorgeous day here in New Zealand. We just went through the glowworm cave, and there's a totem pole, a Maori totem pole, and an old windmill. And we're going to go on a walk now. There we are in the hillside beside the glowworm cave. And we've just taken a walk up through the hills here, and we found the vegetation here very beautiful, and especially these ferns, which are native to the New Zealand territory. The foliage is very thick, and their branches are very long, like 10, 12, 14 feet long, like this one here hanging way over the path. This is the 1st of March 1994. We're in New Zealand, and we're in a little place called Lake Taupo, and a town right beside it. It's a very, very beautiful place. I'll just pan across the lake from this angle. Down to the south, we'll see a little later, are mountains about 8,000 feet tall. In front of us are swans. The black swan, very beautiful. Here by the roadside is a flowering tree. The bees and the butterflies are having a wonderful time. Here's a little Maori graveyard right by Lake Taupo. And as we can see, you wouldn't tell it was Maori by their surnames, but when you get to looking around from time to time, you come up with a photograph. There's Peter Boy. Precious loving memories of Peter Boy. Now here's a very special one here with a photograph. I guess it's Dad and Mom. And there's another one with a nice photograph. The hunters, Roy and Rihi, or Rihai, in memory of them. And this is still being used. One man told me that when there's a funeral here, there are so many people come that they block up the main road that's right behind me here. Here we are at Lake Taupo, and we're just going to take a nice panoramic view. As you can see, there's a beach right here. Many motels behind us. We stayed in one last night. And it's really a very, very delightful sight. Over across the lake, we can see a number of very tall mountains, up to 9,000 or 10,000 feet, in the Tongariro National Forest. Way off in the distance, there they are, very tall. Most of these mountains are the result of volcanic activity. This is a rather large lake, and we're just in one little bay of the lake right here, which has the city of Taupo right behind us here. The Lions Club is active here, as are the seagulls. and blackbirds which I cannot identify. And here's another quick pan of the area. There are those distant mountains again, now rather cloud-covered, shrouded. There's a seaplane out over the lake coming right over at us. We're right outside of Taupo, and a river feeds out of the Taupo lake, and the Huka, H-U-K-A Falls, comes down here. The water is brilliantly clean and blue. Canoers come down these rapids, hoping they'll survive. We're looking upriver toward Lake Taupo. Now we're looking downriver. Yep. You notice there's a rainbow here. I'll focus in on it for a moment, right there. We're just going to go into the village now and see a restored historical village. wonder where she is. My, my, my. What happens when you do this? Carriage rides, a bit of history. Hello. Ooh, what beautiful roses.
I think you should have
Oh, my, they are.
some that's growing out in that centre of the village.
Very good. I'll get a look at them. My. As they're coming in outside, yeah, you can see them coming in the window. I mean, you have a hole through the wall.
Yes, we do. They just come and go as they please.
Mm-hmm. Well, I must get a little picture of the proprietor of this delightful shop here. And you just sneaked away.
I did, didn't I?
And it was a Presbyterian
What type of church was this?
Catholic church.
Oh, a Catholic church, okay. All right. By the potter's shop is also a beautiful apple tree. The New Zealanders are great for fruit. There's all kinds of fruit and vegetables all around us. Orchards everywhere. At the base of the Presbyterian church here in the village are these chickens, and here's the church. We'll get a better view in a little bit. In the village, they have a number of different animals here. There's a deer there, and there's a goat, more goats over here, and a pig lying here in the, and a number of other creatures. There's a little aviary here, which includes anything from the ornamented chickens to the cockatiel to the ring-tailed pheasant. That looks like kind of a scrawny one. That's the male, and here are the females. We'll just take a quick bird's eye view of this little village from a platform and enjoy the sight of it. It's been a delightful stop here. The Hukah village. And below is a typical boat. It's a little bit high, but I can barely see the road. Can you pull it down just a little tiny bit? That's perfect. Village. Really enjoyed that, especially talking to the shop people. It was really nice. Rotorua had earthquakes last night, 4.5, and Wellington also had them, but they were down in the 2 or 3. So it was a heated, I'll have to call it. This steam comes from the earth where the magma heats water. That magma is not too far down here, and the water then turns to steam and is pushed up to the surface. And the New Zealanders have caught this steam and are turning it into electricity. We're on our way to Rotorua, and I'm just taking pictures out of the window here at about 50 miles an hour. us we see forestry with the original trees and then a large area that's been recently cut. We're going through a forest here, and the trees look so rich and so healthy. There are different ages of trees. Obviously it's a well-controlled forest. There are some places where it's cut and other places where the trees are small, and then these trees on the right here are quite large.
You've been in New Zealand for very long? No, just since last
And it cost us New Zealanders 300 million plus to build it.
In 1989?
Yeah. Within the first 3 years of running it, they'd paid back what it cost to build it, and now it is run on profit. Its given name to Oahuki is named after our local marae, and the land that Oahuki has built on here, which includes the steam fields, belongs to our local Māori, which are called the Ngāti Tahu people. And Electra Corp have leased the land off them for 99 years. These buildings that we're coming up to on the left, these smaller ones here, are used where the men have their lunch breaks upstairs. Downstairs is where they keep a lot of their equipment, and we also have a small laboratory. It is made out of aluminium when they were building it, basically to keep the cost down within, you know, building, and for later on through the year, so they're not repainting and all that sort of thing, and to help the noise level inside also. This tower here is called the Microwave Tower. Where did you come from, Rotorua or Taupo? Oh, right. Well, you would have passed. We've got another geothermal power station there. Well, that one's the sister to this one. This station can be manned up to 30 men a day, and then you can have some days where there's nobody here apart from the tour guide. So this is why you've got the tower. It's connected up to Taupo. So once again, if the men aren't here, then it's all run through the tower. Oh, excuse me, I'll come down with the flu. What is 49,000 kilowatts of electricity? So you've got about 580 tonnes of steam passes in through here every hour on the hour. So this is where all your steam comes up through. And it hits this pipe here and then divided into those two turbines that we come up to. Your steam can come up on your east side, which is over here. It comes up out of the ground about a mile deep. Runs along all through the pipes, comes up under its own pressure, then so far along the pipes it meets up with pumps, which pump it up a lot faster until it hits up here in the plant. Your two outside pipes bring the steam up here, and your middle pipe takes the water back down into the re-injection field, which is over here on my right. These two round ponds here, you've got one on your left and one on your right. That's where all those gases are sent back down, then the company dilutes them and then dumps them.
Then go back into the ground?
Because gases.
Yes.
I don't know, don't tell me what happens to that.
Oh.
Yeah. So from the time that steam is drawn up out of the ground till it hits here and hits the turbine, it takes a minute on the high pressure and 2 minutes on the low pressure.
What are these pipes over here?
Which ones?
The four running parallel.
Right. Those are taking water, and then you'll get one pipe, one here in the middle, that takes some of the water that goes back out into the re-injection field.
I see.
And then the other pipes send the water back in through the plant. We need 20,000 litres of water an hour to cool the condensers down.
I see. Now is the steam then condensed back into water?
Yeah, when it hits the tower.
Whatever, yeah, and then it goes
you get
out.
more of an idea once we get up close to the tower.
Yep. Uh-huh.
these pipes here are bringing out some of that waste that I said those gas extractors don't catch all those gases.
Okay.
And some of that excess.
The power that goes through this plant takes care of 3% of the needs of New Zealand. It goes through those red transformers and then out here down to Taupo and is distributed across the country. Inside the condensation tower, it's constantly raining. What we see here convinces me more and more that God really has a sense of humor. I don't know how long we can watch boiling mud, but it certainly is fascinating.
Yes.
Huge fish.
Would it be all right with you if I just go on at my own pace, which
Yeah.
is a little faster than what you want to
Yep,
go?
yep, sure. If you want to meet me, you know, back at the...
Sun lotion.
It's constantly cooking.
Ja,
Nein,
aber Sie waren schon in Deutschland.
nein, nur einmal für 4 Tage ist alles.
Oh, und dann sprechen Sie so gut Deutsch.
You come from Pennsylvania?
Yes,
When did you arrive here in New Zealand?
only on... Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yes?
Oh, nur am Samstag.
Aha.
Samstagmorgen.
Und wie viel Grad waren jetzt inzwischen dort?
Especially significant here is the variations in color that we can see in the boiling pools. Looking off downstream here, there's an entire hillside that's just covered with mud and water, and occasionally there's a hole like that. And the water comes dribbling off and runs down a spillway here on the side. This is Bridal Veil Falls, where all that water from the mineral pool comes down, leaving its mineral deposits, and running down here and across down this way. It then ends up coming into this very stagnant looking pool here underneath this little makeshift bridge, and out into another large mud flat, which goes on and on and on, it appears, way off into the distance. This is another section of this area. There's a boiling cauldron. Sulfur gases apparently come out of this hole in the ground, leaving the yellow streak. If we wanted to talk about cooking gas, right here it is. It's just cooking and cooking.
Here's your diarrhea, Paul. Here, son.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. And there's a big one over there. It's just cooking and cooking. Continues to boil.
Kid?
Which way?
On the, just over the back on the flats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're over here.
There is a large pool. These are the walkers. These are really the walkers. Bart.
Catch these kids.
Yep.
Hey, hold on, you good?
Here we have sulfur mounds. That one looks like the face of a dog, just like that. Hello, Fido. Amazing. We are back to a very large pool here, which has a kind of orange yellow mineral deposit here on the edge and is constantly steaming and boiling. This is the title given to the colorful pool that we've been watching, that we've been looking at. Look at it. It's out there in the distance.
Once we move inside the grounds here, but you're quite welcome to move out either side on the grassed area to get a better view of the ceremony itself. As long as you don't move in front. Now the most important part of the ceremony is this challenge, or wero. When this warrior is approaching our two rangatiras, he's going to be bulging his eyes and poking his tongue out, grunting and groaning, and it's going to look quite humorous to some of you. As it already is. It's most important that none of us laugh or even smile at this warrior. You laugh or smile, it can be quite hazardous, not only to your own health, but to mine also. Okay, so if you want to laugh or smile, please do it now.
You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Most of these houses represent ancestors. You may see throughout New Zealand if you're travelling. You'll find back out the front, up in the apex, a carved figure here. It's outside, you can't see it from the near. Those carved branch boards represent outstretched arms. This top end, we call it tauhu, his backbone. Coming off the tauhu, he has his ribs. And the centre pole represents heart. Represents his heart. Now all our designs you see in here, they're all symbols of nature, and what we hold on the wall are all symbols of our people's beliefs. Our history was passed down through what we see in here. We had no form of written language. These designs all hold stories. The history was passed down through all of this, through the carving, and supported by our song. The people who are out gathering food, also to alert the people inside the village, we have strangers lurking in the area, to come back to the safety of the village and to come together. The people come together as one, and when the visitors arrive, they will meet with challenges, and we'll talk a wee bit later on about these.
Now, along pulls you'll see our ladies' shoes. Now, when they are all twirled simultaneously, they depict the maiden flight of our bird, the white heron. And it is the most difficult poi we have in our culture. So we're now going to demonstrate for you all the use of all these items in song and dance. Kia ora.
Our two young had all their hot meals, okay, until we invented the microwave. That's the, seems to be the whole now this top cover here. Now to cordon bleu chef, so we're moving now. Okay. These are made of specially imported camel hair. Okay. Tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't have a clue what they're made of, but they do a very fine job. And now these covers actually have a twofold job. Okay. One, to keep the heat in, and two, to keep the dirt out. They do an excellent job of both. And now these very fine covers here, these are silken sheets. These are all bed little fronts, but they've been hygienically sterilised. Okay, now, here we have it. All the goodies. Okay, on the top floor here we have all the vegetables. Okay, in the centre we have our traditional sweet potato or kumara. Okay, furthest away from me we have our traditional pumpkin. Okay, closest to me there we have our very special spuds. What we call red white. Okay, just in front of me here we have our own free-range Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, now very shortly, now two chefs are going to take all this meat, vegetables away and carve them up into more edible portions for us all. Okay, while they're doing that, I'm going to explain to you all the preparation of our hangi feast. Won't take long because I'm hungry too. Okay, now watch your step over there, folks. Those embers are still very hot. Okay. Okay, now folks, now when you get home, this is how you're going to cook all your meals from now on. Okay. Step one, find yourself a well-used, well-weathered shovel. Okay. But this one here, it's had plenty of the leaning treatment. Okay, you dig yourselves a hole, circular fashion, such as this. Okay, now, probably won't need to be this big, not unless you want to feed 80 to 100 people or so. Okay, just dig yourselves a shallow hole out in the backyard. Find yourself some river stones or river boulders. Because the Māori people have found that these stones hold the heat the best, which is what you want. And now we've also thrown in a few locomotive brake shoes and track joiners there just to add a bit of texture. Okay, once you've got your selection of stones and metal, you build a fire in the base of your hole. Okay, now, out here we use traditional timber or native timber. It's called tawa. Okay, now, depending on what sort of timber you use, this also adds the taste to your food. Okay, so if you use treated pine, you're going to get a real sour, arsticky taste. Okay, you want to use virgin timber if you can. Okay, no additives. Okay, and you build your fire up in the hole, throw your rocks on top, and you want to keep that fire burning for 2.5 hours. Okay, until those rocks are white hot. And once the fire's burnt right down and the rocks are white hot, and the metal's red hot, okay, you scoop all your stones out of the hole, place them to one side. Okay, then you scoop all the embers and the ashes out of the base of the hole also. So it's relatively clear, these ashes and embers. Flick them over the neighbours, he won't mind. Okay, then you quickly throw your stones back in the hole, as flat as you can. Okay, you have your food prepared in wire baskets, wire mesh, steel framing. Now, traditionally we would have used flax woven baskets. Okay, but because we do this every night, we soon run out of flax. Okay, so we've compromised. Metal mesh baskets, meat on the bottom, because that takes the longest to cook, vegetables on top. Okay, pour a bit of water over the rocks, get a bit of steam going. Okay, and you have all these covers here soaking in a large container of cold water, so they're absolutely soaking wet. Okay, otherwise they're going to burn readily. And then you put your fine silken sheets over first, and then your camel hair covers. Okay, cover the entire area, and then you bury all of this under the soil. Okay, and you bury it until you can see no more steam escaping. Once it's completely buried, leave it there for 3.5 hours. Okay? By the time you get back from the pub, it should be nicely cooked.
Well, we're in Rotorua, and we came upon this large supermarket, which we found to be just absolutely fabulous. So we're going to go inside and take a look. First, there's the produce department that is just loaded, literally loaded, with fruit and vegetables so abundant.
50 cents for a bag here, almost 2 kgs, 50 cents. Grab yourself a bag of these potatoes, that's a real bargain. 2 bags left of potatoes at 50 cents, almost 2 kgs here. One large bag, that's it. Friendships be the only way to be.
And now in the meat department, it's just an unbelievable variety of meats that look so fresh and so good. Sorry, Sue. I just had a little talk with Wayne Mansell, who is the manager here, and he said I was just over, I talked with Wayne Mansell. You talked to me before. He said, go ahead and do it. I'm into spiritual food. I'm a minister of the gospel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He said, you're no competitor. Thank you very much. Okay. Dan. I did. I'm going to put you in the papers in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Not really.
How's things going over there?
Pardon me?
How's things going over there?
Not too well.
How the hypermarkets?
We've had a terrible winter. We got too much crime, and we're glad to be here. Does that sum it up?
For now.
Yes. And here are the rotisseries where all of this chicken is made. What a beautiful boy. And on the other side are fresh breads by the dozens of varieties. I mean, literally, dozens of different kinds of fresh breads. As far as the eye can see, there's fresh pasta with all different kinds of salads and things that you can buy right here. And fish, every kind. There's the fisherman bringing in the fish for us, see? There he goes. The deli counter is loaded with wonderful, flavorful things. Cheeses, 100 different kinds. And the dairy department right here with the cow ready to serve you. Right beside the eggs, which makes up about 100,000 eggs here, I suppose. Bulk food is a very big thing here. You can buy food in large quantities, as much as you want. Take, for example, nuts. These are all dollars per kilo, and the New Zealand dollar is about worth slightly more than half what the American dollar is, and a kilo is 2-point-something pounds. Vitamins and cosmetics and specialty foods, amazing, as far as the eye can see. Packaged foods are here in incredible variety and abundance. And at prices quite comparable to ours. Look at the candies here. And here's aisle after aisle of foods. Ooh, look at those marvelous big chocolate bars.
Skies are all clear, and there's never a day. Fish jump on board with a swish of their tail. Living on the leisure, and there's no work to do. And the captain's below, making tea for the crew. You tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking up to remains. I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green.
And here's the wine and liquor center. Just in great abundance.
When you get back on dock,
we have live music.
The long trip is through. Hey, do me. There's clubs and there's pubs and there's lassies there too. And the girls are all pretty and the beer it is free. And there's bottles of rum growing from every tree. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumpers. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green. Jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Tell me, old
just look at the variety
I'm
here.
taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green.
And finally, here is the frozen food section. And at the other end, all kinds of dairy products.
The cow go out to Alberta.
So this goes on here day after day.
In the fall, got some friends that I could go working for.
Over 1 million tourists have built this little sleepy town of Rotorua, originally a very important Maori settlement, into a vast tourist center. Done a very beautiful job building it up and making it attractive. And out beyond there is Lake Rotorua. Beautiful, beautiful. Big guy. Well, notice the ferns here in all of their beauty and glory.
Meisjes zijn niet erg mooi. Nou,
Wil je dat ze er eentje tegen de dingen? Het lijkt wel een beetje een papegaai-achtig donker.
Brutaal een beetje.
Ja, dat is het.
Emu. Ik kan ook hardlopen hoor.
It's alive. Oh, it's alive.
Where would you find it?
Mostly up the endemic islands, you know, the ones off the coast.
Oh, right.
This is the kiwi. The male is small, the female is large, and there's a baby in the middle. And they lay the largest egg in proportion to the size of the bird of any of the birds.
bush from a few woollier ones, letting the rest go straight off through. What we call a three-way draft. The farmer should be able to do this job by himself, working those two gates, noisy muck away like a road down here at the back, pushing those sheep up. Probably draft around 1,200 to 1,500 sheep in just an hour.
Right over the top there, down the other side. And we're also going to see the stage through the hurdle. These sheep are what we call hobbits. They are 18 months of age. They are young, and they've been worked so closely by a dog before. So it is important that we try to keep them as calm as possible. They'll get very excited and be very difficult to control. Well, really quickly this afternoon, on to our third and final stage. Now this is the most difficult. Sheep need to be in the pens. Sheep don't like to confined spaces. See how the two of them get on. You may have noticed Spy does plant when she works. She just uses her eyes and her body movements to control the sheep. Tony's hand is on the gate. He cannot take it off. If he does, he will be disqualified. Spy must complete this trial now on her own. We've got a snack on the way. Oh, lovely. Probably 2 days ago, this time little wee white things over there in the Bay of Gamblebone. Most of them walk around after the show and have a look at them. Very cute. Remembering Tony's hand must stay on the gate the whole time. Just over a minute remaining. The bigger he was before they know there was no way out. They're not going in there again. I've forgotten what sit means. This problem is not over until all 3 sheep are completely inside the pen. Not doing too well here. Bring him up for another try. Take it away. Bit of unfast spine. Now, dog like spine also, like those, is expected to run anything up to 80 to 100 kilometres a day in speed. They're getting up to at least 65 to 70 kilometres an hour.
Hello, welcome along. How about a nice big smile? There we go. She's pretty happy to be here. Now, that may look pretty silly, but that's what we call mouthing. And you mouth the sheep to tell their age and their condition. Just by looking at a sheep's bottom teeth. Look, she's got 6 big bottom teeth there. Now that's telling me she's 3 years of age. If she only had 2 big bottom teeth, she'd be 1 year, 4, 2, 6, 3, 8 big bottom teeth, 4 years of age, full mouth. And you're probably keeping your sheep till around 5 or 6. Now sheep haven't got any teeth on top, she's just got a hard gum up there, a hard palate. No teeth in the middle either, but a set of molars down the back. But when the sheep was a bit younger, when it was a little lamb, got a piece taken out of its ear. Here we go, that one there's got a bit taken out at the end. Now that's a registered mark, it's called a station mark, ear mark. And each farmer in the area has a different shape or a different position on the sheep's ear. So that's Rainbow Farms ear mark there. If I was drafting off a big mob sheep, I saw a W, I know that could be my neighbour's sheep. So I can draft it off, decide whether I want to give it back or not.
One more time, you have to jump this time, alright? Here we go, bend your knee. 1, 2, 3, jump! Swing it around! Now, Miss Tom, are you nice and comfortable up there? Right, you're sitting on 2,200 pounds, that's 1,000 kilos. And this about this time of show, Beach just had afternoon tea. He's ready for some exercise. Tom, he's going to slowly walk over to this gate, jump over the top, round the head, and try to back in again. Would you like to go for a ride? Now he has on a woolen singlet, and that keeps his back warm when he's been over for 8 or 9 hours every day. Double-lined denim, shearing pants, they protect his legs from anything in the sheep's fleece. Dark moccasins on his feet, firm, hard, and on the ball.
Made by Reebok. And this is then the shearer, this is called the handpiece. Screwed to the bottom of that handpiece, you can see a 32 comb. On the top of that, a 4-tooth cutter. And that's going back and forth, snipping the wool. The comb is changed around every hour, the cutter every quarter of an hour, keeping that gear nice and sharp. Now, tips the combs, test the combs, they're very sharp also. And because I'm shearing so close to the skin of the sheep, you can see it leaves a few marks. I can accidentally pick up a little bit of skin and cut the sheep. But it doesn't happen very often. I try my very best not to.
Now, good shearers should be shearing at least 300 sheep every day, but at the moment they're getting about 85 cents a sheep, or $85 a hundred.
Get nice and comfortable. She's pretty comfortable now. Well, I'll use my legs to hold the sheep, making sure it doesn't get away, keeping nice and still. Now, that's leaving both these hands free. The right hand is used to hold the handpiece. And the left hand, well, that's working all the time. Turn that neck around, keeping those ears out of the way. Lifting legs, clearing away all that short wool. It takes a good 2 years and a lot of hard work for a shearer. Start getting up to a good standard, start making some decent money. So I'll bring this woolly little sheep over here and we'll get started.
Alright, we'll pop her into starting position, make her nice and comfortable. We're going to start on the underside, or the belly of the sheep. Now this wool is staying and it's important that it gets separate, Scab there on the top brisket there, just put the top off there. And a few short bows under the tail. And a quick haircut. Now this is called the blind throw. It takes quite a while to master. The shearer is going by feel alone. It's very easy to come to sheep here. A few short blows, and we're into the long blow, right up the sheep's backbone. Now at this point, Tony's really facing the back wall. We turn it around so you can see exactly what's going on. And we're well over halfway. Now more careful, you'll notice Tony is slowly stepping backwards. Too easy to hang on to the sheep's head, and that leaves his left hand free to keep that skin nice and tight. Finishing off out the back leg now. Bit of a wriggle. There we have one well-shorn sheep.
There you go, hey, feeling right now. Oh, yep. We have some no clothes on. Yep. See that little bit of scab there? That's just a bit of crusty. Just top off that, that'll be alright. Well, if you won't be feeling cold for long, what we do now is put her out into a nice big paddock full of grass. This sheep here, they'll get a nice big belly full, keeps the wool from the inside out. And another amazing thing that happens within the next 24 hours of this sheep's fleece coming off, their skin thickness, well, that doubles, it thickens up, she gets a nice big layer of fat and protects her on these cold days. Well, we'll put it back in the pen now. There we go. See her again in around 6 months' time.
The day is March the 3rd, 1994. We're seeing a new day dawn upon planet Earth. Not far from here is the easterlymost point of New Zealand, where every day a new day dawns on planet Earth. We're looking out at 6:30 in the morning over the Bay of Plenty. Looking to the east, we catch a glimpse of the harbinger of the rising of the sun. And down the way, miles and miles and miles of unspoiled beaches with quiet residential areas behind them. The Pacific Ocean feeds into the Bay of Plenty, and we're looking out into the vast Pacific Ocean, thousands and thousands of miles of water. We're out on a peninsula in a little town called Mount Manatui, and there's the volcano, Mountain Manatui, which stands at the end of a peninsula jutting out into the Bay of Plenty. Above us is the waning moon. With its friendly little star. The water and the winds are very calm this morning, awaiting the arising of the sun and the dawning of a new day. Looking down off of this sheer precipice from the rocks where I'm standing, you can see how clear and beautiful the water is. Out there is a large flock of birds beginning their morning flight and feeding. It's from that point that I was just taking the picture. Out on the distance is a small island, and skimming the horizon we come to a larger island out there, much larger island, farther away. And again, over against the rising sun, right in the area where the sun is going to come up, is another island quite large. And then here is our obstacle island right in front of us. By stages, we're seeing the earth prepare for the rising of a new day. And so a new day is dawning on the earth. Looking over the little quiet town of Mount Manatui, with its beautiful cedar trees. From this point jutting out into the Bay of Plenty, this peninsula ends up with Mount Manatui. And from that mountain we look westward to the hills and the plains and the pastures and the country land of central northern New Zealand. Now just opposite the rising of the sun is Mount Manatui, all green and beautiful. Down the beach. And here is a cormorant. Hi, cormorant, sunning himself in the morning sun. And a gull making his way. And a view of the peninsula from which I took the sunrise. And there is that great sea, teeming with animals innumerable. God made it all.